Well, fellas, welcome. Welcome to Friday. God damn it, I just lost the chat. Hang on. Welcome to Friday, Gabbing Games. Hang on. Let me fix the chat real quick. I was ready to go. I was raring to go. And I accidentally deleted the on-screen chat. It's coming right back. Give me 1 second. All right, hang on. Here we go. I'm here. Good to see you guys. Friday, baby. All right, hang on. You goddamn right. It's freaking weekend, Zero. Let me put the chat up so we guys can... Now, let's put up a thing that says, "Don't touch me there, Jaffe." Boom, it's right there. That's the way it works. Hello, everybody. Hang on. I'm ready now. I'm settled in. Welcome to Gabbing Games, fellas. Good to see you. I hope everybody's doing great. The Truth Teller comes in, drops the first super chat of the day. He says, "Congrats on beating Margit." He's talking about one of the first main Elden Ring bosses. I don't know why it's called Margit. It's the stupidest goddamn name in the world. Let's go for Godric the King and all that is golden. This is the Truth Teller. Thank you, buddy. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do next in Elden Ring, but we will talk about Elden Ring towards the back of the show where I give you my official review. But I'm going to save my thoughts on it till then. In the meantime, I'll say thank you, Truth Teller. Okay. BB says, "One day I will believe in God." All right. I'm not opposed to believing in God, sir. I just don't right now. Certainly not the one that is in the Bible, the Torah, the Quran. You know, I certainly don't believe in that. No. But we'll get to that. Not God. We'll get to Elden Ring. God we'll do another stream about. Okay. I want to give you guys an update on what today's show is going to be. There's a bunch of stuff going on. I'm trying to get into the zone, as you guys can tell. You're like, "Jaffe, what's going on?" My sleep is not so good. Okay. Number one, I want to let you know one of our sponsors is the Leadus Podcast, and they need your help, fellas. You are their only hope, Obi-Wan. I'm putting this in the chat right now. There's a link to the Leadus Podcast Survey Says. This is basically it's a podcast about video games where they play games about games. This is one they do every now and then called Family Feud, which is obviously based on Family Feud. And they're looking for the people who are the survey. So, for example, what is your favorite PS1 title? Survey says, number one, Gran Turismo, right? And so people go on the show and try to compete and guess what you guys will put in your top 10 and things like that. So they want your feedback, and I will be on this show. So I'm not giving my feedback. I'm not going to skew the results, but I will be a contestant on this episode of the Leadus Podcast. And if you want to be part of the survey so you can be part of the show, there you go. There's the link for you. One more quick thing I want to let you know. Another one of our God of War sponsors, Day One Patch Kids. We're giving away at the end of the show today the Day One Patch Kids Rotten Tanuki care package. Life is tough. Life is weird. Life is strange. See what I did there? Life is bizarre. Well, everybody can use a little Rotten Tanuki Day One Patch Kids in their life, and that's why at the end of the show today we will be having a Mario Kart 8 race competition. Anybody can join. You don't have to be a member. The winner of 4 races, like the tournament or whatever they call it, the cup, will basically get the prize package that has a Rotten Tanuki t-shirt that's Sweet Tooth, a Rotten Tanuki coffee mug that has Norman Fetus. If you don't know what Day One Patch Kids, it's like Cabbage Patch Kids meets video game stuff. And then there also are magnets and stickers and whatnot. That'll be going out to you this Wednesday if you are the winner of that race. Okay. Last thing I want to let you know before we really jump into the news, if you're looking at the screen, I'm not going to tell you till later what this is. It's obviously some characters, and if you're listening to the show, you're not watching. It's obviously some characters from the Dragon Quest game. I don't know what number, but it's an image of the Dragon Quest characters. But there's a hint here as to what it really is, and it's a heartwarming story, and it's a very sweet, geeky story, and I will give that to you guys a little bit later. But I wanted to kind of whet your appetite, W-H-E-T, I hate that spelled that way, to go, what is this, Jaffe? What's happening with you? Why am I looking at this picture? So Stick around, you'll find out. All right, I'm going to go to the chat real quick, talk to the chat for a couple of minutes, and then we will get right to the news. We're going to be talking a lot. Gran Turismo, Tokyo, Ghostwire Tokyo. The new Square strategy game is coming out. Actually, it's already out. And then obviously we're going to cap it off with Elden Ring. Let me go to the chat. So Jaffe, talk about the white privilege line in the new Batman movie, says Twisted Sith. I have not seen the new Batman movie, and I will not see the new Batman movie until it comes to streaming, because I don't really feel comfortable going back into theaters. And even if I did feel comfortable going back into theaters, I'm just kind of over it. It's going to take something massive to get... I didn't even go to the theater for Spider-Man No Way Home, and Spider-Man is arguably one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. So if that didn't get me back in, B-tier Batman certainly won't get me back in. But I hear it's great. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Carl B-Man wants everybody to know that the Wii U was an underrated console. It was. I mean, Nintendo shat the bed when it came to how they marketed it and sold it and promoted it and supported it. But I enjoyed my Wii U. I played Breath in the Wild there. I played Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze there. I played Super Mario 3D, which was absolutely wonderful there. It's certainly no 3DS, but it was a goddamn, it's one of the great lessons in life that failure is a stepping stone to success. And if they hadn't done that, they probably wouldn't have gotten to the Switch. Not just because it failed, but because I think it was clear to them there was magic in this connection between this portable pad and playing that pad on the TV. And I think that probably led to, I mean, I don't know the history. Maybe they had the Switch in their mind for decades and they couldn't do it yet. So the Wii U was a stopgap. But whatever it is, that failure certainly contributed to the Switch, and I enjoyed the Wii U. It gets a lot more shit than it should. Batman comes to streaming, says Top Gun Zero, in 45 days. I did read that. That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it very, very much. Jaffe, you should never mess with Souls fanboys. They will have your head even if you enjoy the games. You think I give a shit, Crazed Assassin? That's Crazed Assassin telling me not to. That's what's funny. Somebody wrote me on the stream yesterday and said, no, it was in the comment section, and they said, Jaffe, how does it feel to be the laughing stock of the Metroid Dread community? And I was just like, really? There's so much wrong with that comment, but the most thing that's wrong is like, really? What are you, 12? You think I'm a 50-year-old man, motherfucker? You think I sit around giving a fuck what any video game community, certainly the Metroid Dread community, thinks about me? Come for my head. Who gives a shit? Fuck you. Let me tell you something. If you're a Souls fan or a Metroid fan or a Pokemon, any kind of fucking fan, and you actually think that you can shame me, or really anybody, shame on you, into submission of not having an opinion that differs from yours about some fucking video game, I invite you to go down to your nearest GameStop if it's still open, and usually they're in strip malls, right? So go down to the strip mall, and there's usually, it's a strip mall. So go to the corner of the strip mall where the GameStop is and go fuck yourself. That's what I think you need to do, you fucking mental moron. Okay. Trip says, I imagine it must feel the same way as if the Sonic DeviantArt community was laughing at you. Right? It's kind of like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you that they actually think that I give a fuck. Ruddy Games, by the way, we're going to be talking about Ruddy Games. I'm going to be showing you guys some of Ruddy Games' work. They tweeted me and showed me an Elden Ring character of Kratos, because that character customizer is the shit, man. It is phenomenal. They've done the Joker, they've done Gandalf, they've done Kratos with beard, Kratos without beard, yay, and a bunch of other characters. I'm hoping to God they can make me a Taylor Swift, or at least give me some advice on how to make a Taylor Swift for Elden Ring, because I'll show you my character in a little bit. Okay. How am I tonight, says Game Vet. Never mind, after the rant I got my answer. I'm doing great. It's the weekend. I got games to play this weekend. We're doing movie night this weekend with the kids. I'm excited. It's a good time. Okay. Microsoft says, hey, you know what, fellas? Enough of your malarkey, you old stupid Russian fucks. Microsoft is one of the many companies that has just jumped into the fray and said, we are pulling our support in Russia, not just Xbox, but all of Microsoft. They're suspending all sales of products and services in Russia, which means your Game Pass won't work. It means you can't buy any games at the Microsoft Store. If you gotten yourself a problem with Windows, don't call us, you Russian fucks. Now, obviously, they're not mad at the Russian people, but they are, in fact, they've said as much. They said, we believe the most effective in aiding Ukraine, when we take concrete steps in coordination with the decisions being made by our governments that will take additional steps as the situation continues to evolve. And the point being is that sanctions and financial and entertainment punishments and all kinds of things that can be done to short of rolling tanks into that country and shooting nukes, which they'll do first, of course, into that country is what people are doing. And apparently it's having a real effect. I don't know if it's going to make any difference, but it certainly is making life tough over there. So Microsoft did it. And then earlier today, this is a little bit of a weird one. Sony did it kind of. So Sony pulled Gran Turismo 7 from the Russian release. But they didn't shut down PlayStation services. PS Now is still going as far as I understand. You can still buy other games as far as I understand. It's just that they have done that. They've pulled Gran Turismo 7. I think the reason, though, for that is they said, if we release Gran Turismo 7 to people in Russia, it will be so boring that they'll have no choice but to go out and fight the war and attack Ukraine. So if we take away this really boring game, Gran Turismo 7, ultimately what will allow them to do is potentially reconsider. So Sony's kind of playing it much more strategic than Microsoft. They're just kind of a big swath across the board. You can't have our stuff. Sony's like, we're going to selectively punish you by releasing or not releasing games that will change your motivation. I haven't actually played Gran Turismo. I hear it's a return to form, and that's great. Not my kind of game, but good for them. All the industry, though, is helping within, who knows how much, it's not like Bobby Kodak's going over there and fighting. But EA is removing stuff from Russia. Pokemon's donating $200,000 for humanitarian support. So it absolutely is, it's the least and the most they could do. Hopefully more money, but, So there you go. That's what's happening in Russia. Let us talk about fuck you, Eric Lennon. I will fucking come to your house and I will tell you all about the sequel to Drawn to Death. He says, by that logic, pull your own show from Russia also. My show isn't going in Russia, you fuck. Yeah, they should make Battlefield 2042 free to play just for Russia. Okay. Elden Ring. This is not the review yet, but this leads into some other stuff. You had to have heard this. This was fascinating to me. In two ways. This is being reported by IGN. Elden Ring, players are selling runes on eBay. Runes, if you don't know, are like the blood echoes or the main currency that you use to level up and buy items and convince characters to give you something. Things. There's not like multiple currencies. It's just runes, right? Well, players are selling runes on eBay, but they could be banned. So here's how they're doing it. I wasn't even aware that you could do this. A quick search for Elden Ring on eBay reveals dozens of listings with a variety of price ranges from $10 for 1 million runes to $25 for 20 million, and even higher in some cases. Suffice to say, 1 million runes would help a player over-level beyond what the game is built for, helping them avoid much but not all of the challenge of the notoriously tough game. I've been farming like a motherfucker. I'm farming trolls all day and all night, and certainly I'm doing it because I want the runes to level up certain variables of my character to make the game more doable for me. I guess what they're doing, because the way it works is, I guess, you buy a set of runes that you have to send the seller on eBay your character name, and then you enter multiplayer with them at a set location. And then they drop golden rune items for you, right? So they'll drop like, a mega golden rune, which will basically, when you shatter it, will give you like a multiplier. So if you've got 10 runes that you've earned legitimately, that 10 rune can go up to 1 million runes just by having these golden runes to pop. And they spread all over your normal runes, and there you go. Okay. It's a very popular service, it says. A report from Eurogamer confirms at least some sellers are holding up their end of the bargain, delivering the promised runes rather than disappearing with the money. So a couple of things, like I'm looking at it right now on eBay. Some guy's selling for $200 for 6 million runes. $10 for 1 million. $25 for 20 million. Okay, so this is a real fucking little business. The biggest problem is that selling or even buying, says IGN, in-game for real money is expressly against Elden Ring's terms of service. Whatever, who cares? Okay, but fine. It's unclear, says IGN, how or if Bandai Namco is tracking such activity, or if they've already begun handing out the punishments. We've contacted the company for comment, haven't heard. Okay, so whatever. Buy them, don't buy them. I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't do it. But I don't give a shit. But now listen to this. This is the capper. This is the capper. IGN. This is what they say. It says this is the end of the article. It goes without saying that you shouldn't buy or sell runes. Even if it wasn't against the terms of service, Elden Ring is hard, but it's not that hard, and there are means of getting plenty of runes without resorting to pay for them. Now here it is. Here we go. Our Elden Ring wiki guide includes a whole section on how to level up quickly and farm runes, not to mention a way to legitimately duplicate remembrances, which can offer huge amounts of runes. We even have a video on how and where to rune farm. And it's like, motherfucker, there are exploits in this game that you're basically doing the same thing. You're basically saying, pay us, and we'll tell you how to get more runes faster than the game is really designed to have you get them. It's okay when we make money off of it, but don't fucking, it's bad if you buy it off eBay. Fuck you, IGN. Fuck you, IGN. If you really believe that, then stop telling people how to artificially level up and rune farm. And just let them figure it out with their friends or by themselves. Oh, here's an exact guide. Go to this thing and do this and do this and do this. And suddenly, you're going to have 1 million runes. That's bad if you paid for it. But if you paid me, Tones Mick says farming is not an exploit. Farming, of course, is not an exploit. Farming is a legitimate strategy. However, if IGN is basically saying that if they're casting judgment saying getting runes this way is okay and getting runes this way is not okay, then I would argue pointing out exploits and pointing out areas that the player really should be discovering on their own is kind of just the same thing. It looks a little different, but they're just as guilty as making fucking money off exploiting these systems. Come on now. I'm not saying telling somebody, hey, you want to do better in the Elden Ring? That's not a problem, pal. One of the best ways to do it, if you're not a great skilled gamer, is to farm to level up your character. Oh, what's farming? Oh, well, that means you find areas of the map where enemies have a high rate of meaty rune drops, and you just kill them all, and then you go back to a spawn point, they respawn, kill them all, and you put on some music and you spend an hour and a half of your day doing that, and boom, you can level up a couple of times. That's a valid strategy. When you start giving them specifics, fuck you. That's all I'm telling you. Go fuck yourself. This is related, though. I want to tell you something. There's a thing called Sensor Tower. These guys do reports about monetization in video games, okay? Monetization in video games, okay? This is going to tie into Sony in a second. It's going to tie into a lot of things in a second, including what we just talked about with Elden Ring. Okay. Genshin Impact, though, and PUBG Mobile among 2021's top grossing monetization-enabled titles. Now, I have a question for you. I want to see if you can answer it before I'll get into the story, but I want to see if you know this. The report has analyzed the number 1, 2, and 3 reasons people spend money on mobile games. There's number 1, number 2, number 3. Can you guess what the number 1, number 2, number 3 reason is that people choose to spend money on mobile games? Okay. While you're thinking about that, Sector in the chat says, From Software Games is one of those games you should absolutely use a guide and feel zero guilt about. I don't give a fuck about guilt. I'm just telling you, I don't. Like, there are things right now I don't know how to do in Elden Ring. And other than the actual messages you can leave, I kind of don't want to know. I want to figure it out on my own. I think that's more fun, at least for me. But if you want to use a guide, great. But yeah, for me, it's not about guilt. It's about ruining the experience that I paid for. Well, here you go. Here's the reason. It's not vanity. It's not pay to win. It's not time. Well, it kind of is in one case. Here it is. Number 3 is the gotcha stuff, live service stuff, which obviously does speak to you hope you get something out of the role that will help your character. Number 2 is season passes. The number one reason people spend money on mobile games is to get rid of ads. Think about that. Get rid of ads. I do it on Hulu. Me and the family are watching The Good Doctor right now. I ended up accidentally changing my plan last night, and suddenly we're getting ads up the butthole. And so I come into my computer and I change it, and we're back to normal. But yeah, people are saying, "Fuck it, we're out. We're out. I'll give you our money. Just get the ads off my fucking screen." It's interesting. Disney Plus today just announced. You may have seen this. Sometime in 2022, they're also going to be offering an ad-based program to give you Disney Plus for cheaper. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I think the ads in mobile phone games are horrific. They're meant to be horrific, so you'll buy your way out. But so far with Hulu and Disney and things, it seems to be more like, hey, look, this is a business model and it's valid. We would love you to pay more, but if you can only pay $7.99 versus $15.99, not a problem. I would love to see that come to Game Pass. I would love to see that come to PlayStation Now. I would love to say, or Spartacus, whatever they're going to call it. I would love to say, hey, it's not your only option, but instead of $15 a month, if you want to pay $7.99 a month for Game Pass, for example, there'll be more ads on your screen regarding, in the dashboard. And then games will have, not on timers, but maybe level-based or some kind of per game. They'll be able to say this game makes more sense to have it based on an ad plays every 40 minutes if you're playing something like Elden Ring, and they give you a warning 2 minutes ahead. And if you're playing more of a level-based game or a racing game, it's like, okay, 2 more tracks and you got to watch an ad. I think that would be great. I mean, I know a lot of people who watch a show like this don't like it, but again, it wouldn't be for you. But it would be a way to get a lot more people playing games. What's to complain about? But here's the deal, though. The reason I bring a lot of this up is whether it's clearly... Jacob Martin says, that's why I have YouTube Premium. I hate ads. Yeah, YouTube Premium is awesome. It's fantastic. So I bring all this up, though. If you look at Elden Ring, which is clear, if there's a way to spend money to get what you want, people will do it. I bring up Sensor Tower's research to talk about sort of clearly there is a great deal of money, whether you are running these mobile games or service games, or you are a guy on eBay going, fuck it, I can make a lot of money by these gamers who are willing to spend, okay? So I get why companies are excited about this model, but I'll tell you what, somebody over at Square Enix is a goddamn moron. And they need to let this person go or take him out of his fucking job. We've got Avengers, which shat the bed. The company president of Square Enix even admitted we didn't give it to a good team to make. They're a great team, but they're not a service-based game team, so that's a shitty fucking game. Then they came out and said Guardians of the Galaxy performed below expectations. Fuck you. That's one of the best games last year. If you guys couldn't sell that game, you need to fire your marketing department because it's got nothing to do with the quality of the game. Then they launched this shit turd today called Babylon's Fall. Now, this was on my radar for a few reasons. I think it was BB who said, hey, did you play the demo, Jaffe? I played it. It's awesome. So I downloaded it, and I went to play it, and I get hit with a, hey, sign up for Square Enix, this, that, and the other before you can play. I'm like, oh, fuck yourself. And I deleted it, and I'm never going back. But then the reviews start hitting for Babylon Fall. Now, Babylon Fall is from Platinum motherfucking Games. The amazing studio that brings you Bayonetta 1, 2, 3, that brings you, I'm drawing a blank, Vanquish. No, Vanquish was not Platinum. Wonderful 101, wonderful fighting games. Not fighting games, but hack and slash games. Metal Gear Resurgence Rising, whatever it's called. They're second to none when it comes to combat games, okay? Maybe they just needed the money because a lot of their shit doesn't sell. Nier Automata is their biggest hit ever. It only sold 6 million copies. So maybe they go to Square and Square's like, we're all in on the service games. We think that's the future along with NFTs, okay? Platinum, here's some money, okay? And they made this game that's just, I'll read you some choice review comments. This is currently sitting, I think, at a 41. The last game I made Drawn to Death, the biggest stinker of my career, is higher than this. My game's sitting at a 56. 41 on Metacritic is where this goddamn thing is. Okay, this is platinum motherfucking games. We're not talking about, some penny ante bullshit developer. This is one of the best action developers on the planet. Okay, so Vanquish was platinum. Great. Van in the chat, yeah, I saw that. It's actually a little off. Its 24-hour peak on launch day, at least on Steam, was 650 players. Again, 650 players. Drawn to Death had 10,000 players day one. I mean, I'm serious with you. And I'm not saying that like, haha, I'm better than platinum. I'm saying that that's how bad this is, okay? I'll read you some of the choice comments from the review, but the real takeaway is not Platinum's not in trouble. Platinum's fucking brilliantly, blisteringly talented. They will move on to continue to make brilliant, wonderful games. Whoever's over there at Square Enix making these fucking calls, though, I don't know. And I'll tell you something else about Babylon and marketing and Square. Nobody knew about this game. This motherfucking game, you're putting this motherfucking game out the same week or the same little window as Horizon and Dying Light 2 and fucking Elden Ring? Are you fucking high? Are you fucking out of your fucking mind with the drugs? That's what I have to ask the Square people. Listen to this goddamn thing. This is from Video Games Chronicle. It says, not only does Babylon's Fall fail at the most basic elements, such as visual style that's incredibly unappealing, or a mission structure that is somehow both dreadfully short and tedious, but the game also tries desperately to establish itself as a live game, filling your screen with as many opportunities to microtransact as it can, despite the fact, this is not a free game, fellas, despite the fact that it actually cost you $60. You pay $60 and then it's still asking you for a lot of money. It says the art style is terrible. It's muddy. It's hard to make out the characters. The game's slow, sludgy, low-quality characters look like you zoomed in on the crowd of a PS2 racing game. What? Voice cutscenes, they say, come across as grating. It's difficult to focus on the nuance of the world building and lore that's being set up when every character sounds like they're auditioning for Masters of the Universe. The game's combat, surprise to none, can be enjoyable in short bursts, mostly due to its system of allowing you to wield 4 weapons at a time. However, it doesn't evolve much at all as the game goes on, and the fun of hacking and slashing quickly wears thin. The most significant weakness, though, is the terrible mission structure. You run down endless corridors only to find yourself locked in combat rooms over and over and over and over. There are a few encounters per mission that last only a few minutes. And then listen to this. All of these problems, says Video Games Chronicle, are exasperated. Should be exacerbated, right? But whatever. By one of the more offensive championing of in-game purchases we've seen in a full-price game. Babylon Falls genuinely feels at times like a PS3 game that was unearthed years later and retrofitted with the most aggressive live service ephemera that you could think of. From the very start of the game, they're throwing its battle pass in your face. It's a $60 game at launch that has more than $150 worth of items to buy day one. It's visually dated, consistently dull. It's the most average Platinum Games combat we can remember. So I do wonder what they're thinking at Square. Like, Square, man, when I was coming up in the industry, Square used to be I remember we had a Sony offsite once. It was like all the executives and lead creative types and whatnot. We went off to some fancy schmancy golf club and we got paid to stay overnight. And then we had these meetings and we went around and just talked about the future of the company. And this was back when we were, 989 or something. And one of the questions was, it's like, okay, what is your 5-year plan for Sony PlayStation? What do you want to bring to the company? What is your passion project? And me and Mike Guillaume, who was the designer of on the Sony side of Warhawk and Jet Moto and the Con, and now he's over working at Schnell Games on I Expect You to Die and things like that. He and I were working together on design, and both of us were like, we would like to be the American version of Square. At the time, we were harboring fantasies and making RPGs. And it was like they were the Blizzard of the 90s, or Blizzard was the Blizzard of the 90s, but you know what I'm saying? They were top of the food chain. What in the fuck has happened to this fucking company? What the fuck has happened to this company? What are they doing, and who is guiding that ship, and what is wrong with them? The only thing that's a little weirder, but it's related, and I don't mind, because, well, I kind of mind, but not really. Look, end of the day, people buy it. People buy microtransactions out their fucking butthole. That's the goddamn truth. That's the goddamn truth. They buy microtransactions out their goddamn butthole. So if you're a company, what are you going to do? Not sell them what they clearly want? Sony comes out, today's Gran Turismo 7's launch. People are loving it. I think it's sitting at an 88, 89 on the Metacritic. People say it's return to form of this great classic video game title. But then listen to this. The $70 PlayStation title cost you $70. Where'd he go? Hang on. I don't think he's set up to work today. These puppets are very high tech. Yeah, $70 to buy Gran Turismo. I think it's a reasonable price. $70 to buy, if you're listening and not watching, that was a picture of Jim Ryan and Sean Layden talking about Gran Turismo. $70 to buy this title. It allows you to top up the credits that you would otherwise earn during the game. So you can play to get these credits, or you can pay. All right, so far so annoyingly typical. During the review period, this is kind of Activision bullshit with Crash Bandicoot. During the review period, the microtransactions were inaccessible. So it wasn't possible to tell how much credits would cost when the game was released. Think about that. Now that the game is out, the full prices, again, this is Video Games Chronicle doing the writing, full prices of the microtransactions have been revealed. Okay? Listen to this. 4 packs of credits available in the PS Store. 100,000 credits are going to cost you about $3, $2.50. 250,000 credits, $5. 750,000 credits, $10. 2 million credits, $20. Okay, cars in the game range from tens of or hundreds of thousands of credits for lower spec vehicles to many millions of credits for the most high performance one. But let me tell you how weird the math has gotten, okay? If you played the last GT, Gran Turismo Sport, you bought individual cars as microtransactions as well. The vast majority of cars in that game, it says, cost between $1 and $5. The vast majority. That's not the case anymore, it goes on to say. You want to buy a Porsche 919 Hybrid 16, I don't know what that fucking means, but I guess it's a good car. Gran Turismo Sport, it would have cost you $3. Now it's going to cost you 3 million credits. That is a $40 purchase on top of a $70 game to get a car that's not included. I guess you could spend months choring up for it. Aston Martin Vulcan is $40. McLaren is $40. Audi is $40. And you can't buy 1 million credits at a time, right? You could buy 2 million credits, and then you could buy 750,000 credits. And it all ramps up to 40, but you can't even buy it, and they want you to buy more than you actually need. There's even rumors that some cars are going to cost up to 20 million credits, which would be $200 for a fucking car. Again, it's not my game, so I can't really judge it. I paid for shit in Hearthstone. I'm not against microtransactions, but Hearthstone was free. This is a goddamn game that's going to cost you $70, and then they want you to spend. And then, by the way, I didn't know this. I just read this today. In previous Gran Turismo games, every car has upgrade parts, and those cost credits too. Now, again, they could tell you, well, yes, Jaffe, but you can race for those. You don't have to buy those. I understand, but I'm assuming now here's the big question, and people who play Gran Turismo would be able to answer if they're in the chat that play this game. Here's the question. If I want to unlock the Porsche 919 in Gran Turismo, and I don't want to spend any money, of course, yes, I can do that. But is it stupidly prohibitive, or is it it'll take you about, 15 hours, 10 hours or whatever. Or is it like, no, we're doing this so 95% of people will pay for it. So that's what I'm curious about, because that would be the worst. that would be the worst if this is just that kind of policy. If it's just more like, look, man, we know we have something of great value. You can either be a great racer or you can spend some money. But if you're a great racer, it's not going to take you that long. Then okay, whatever. Uncle Filthy says, you always get tons of credits for playing. Topping up is just for buying a few. Or if you want to buy what you want right away. You should be able to get most stuff in a couple of hours. So you could get... Okay, so Zandatsu says, I have 12 hours in the game and have earned 600,000 credits so far. Okay, so Zandatsu would be able to buy... you are basically about a sixth of the way to buy the Porsche Hybrid, which is 3 million credits. So for Shizzle is asking Zandatsu, as am I, do you feel like that's a good currency exchange, basically? Chris Coleman says you had to play races and earn lots of money to buy the rare cars in all Gran Turismo since 1. Yeah, but this is real money now. And apparently not only is it real money, but in Gran Turismo Sport, it was real money, but it was $1 to $5. Now you're going up to 40. Carl B-Man says Grand Theft Auto 5 always gives free LC because all the shark cards think, I don't understand, thinks heel of business? I don't understand that, Carl. Sahila says, Jaffe, with everything you know now compared to the new Forza, do you still think Game Pass is filled with cheap and low quality games? Oh, do you still think people think? I don't know what people think. I mean, one of the things Sony needs to really get in front of, and I'm sure they will when they make Spartacus, is convincing people that it's not just streaming. I was telling somebody I was playing Shadow Warrior 3 on PS Now, and they're like, oh, I can't stream games. My internet's not good enough. I'm like, you download it. He's like, really? You can download that, right? I think Game Pass, there are misconceptions as well. So I couldn't tell you what people think. I've never had a sense of the sky is falling that a lot of people give me on Game Pass when they say, oh, it's just going to be all these microtransactions. It might. And when it does, that's when I walk away. But so far, that has not been what's happened. Brian E. says, Jaffe, the way I hear it, the game also has a used car and part option if you want to budget your way around getting better cars. Okay. The problem is that they charge $70, says Truth Teller, for the game. And on top of that, if you want your favorite car fast, you have to open your wallet more. It doesn't feel... What I'll say is the reason I'm even bringing it up, I don't begrudge Sony the right to make a lot of money. I love they're making a lot of money in MLB The Show. I think I don't know if it's still coming off that home run rally or if there's other systems now. I have no idea. But what I'll say, though, is this, to me, potentially, now I don't play the game, so maybe it works well, but to me, it potentially feels no longer like Sony first party, and it's starting to feel pretty fucking scummy to me. Mr. Thirsty says, no one made you play Shadow Warrior. Me? I know. I wanted to play Shadow Warrior. Sir Nick says, this is not news. Yes, it is, Nick. You know how I know it's news? Because I'm reading the news of the day. It was an article that was written today. Okay? So for you might... The only news, if you're a hardcore Gran Turismo fan, is that the cost of real money needing to be spent has gone up significantly. Another piece of news might also be that one of the guys in the chat earlier said that you have always had to unlock and it only takes a couple of hours. And we have a guy in the chat who's basically saying, no, I've played for 12 hours and I've basically got a sixth of what I need to buy the Porsche. He's only gotten 600,000 units. Now, either he really sucks, and the other part is they hit it, like Ninja Shrimp says. Hiding it from reviews is nearly as bad as the microtransactions. So, Sir Nick, is that not news to you? Okay, fair. It's news to me. That's why I'm talking about it. All right. Mr. Jaffe, how you doing? Oh, Rocker Matt says, have you received my package? No. What I will tell you is I got a slip with the tracking number from the UPS store, and they said it was a big box and we've lost it. And I said, what? Or my assistant said, what? And they said, here's the tracking number. You need to come back into the store Saturday when the manager's here and let's see if we can find it. So that's what I know. That's what I know. But I do have the tracking and all that. Okay. Kaiden says no one needs to pay for any of that. Just enjoy the base game and don't feel fear of missing out. Sure, but then why hide it in the ads? I mean, I don't care, man. Look, I'm not going to play Gran Turismo anyway. So if you're playing the game and you don't have a problem with it, I think that's wonderful to not have a problem with the game you've just dropped $70 on. How excellent. But it seems pretty shitty to me. But maybe not. Maybe not. So Aquadronic says, I'm making great money in Gran Turismo 7. Okay, so can you tell me how much, if you play for 6 hours, half of what the other guy played for, how many credits roughly do you expect to get? Magic Circle, don't tell me to move on. God, I hate that. He says, let's move on to something you enjoy. I'll get to it. I'm talking about this right now. I'm trying to find out, Magic Circle, if the people who are actually playing it are okay with this. Okay, let's move on. No, fuck you. Fuck you. God damn. Play the Kirby demo. I already played the Kirby demo. I played the Kirby demo. I played it yesterday. I streamed it. It was great. I loved it. I'm amazed at how everyone has become okay with microtransactions, says Tones. Yeah. Jaffe, would you like to see a sequel to Cyberpunk? Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see them continue to expand it because I fucking love it now. I adore that game. I hate that I'm not able to play as much that I want right now. Okay, so Clint, you've only played a few. Okay, so that's weird, man. So you're either a savant or the other guy is horrible. Clint says, I've only played a few hours and you have 300,000. So you could earn a pretty sexy $40 car playing half a day. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. However, I would question then, if that's the case, why was it hidden or why wasn't it revealed to reviewers? And again, that's Sony for you. If Sony says, look, we're not ashamed of our numbers, but we know the marketing or we know the PR people are saying, look, your numbers are fine for the gamer. But if you put them in for the reviewer, you're going to get dinged just because a bunch of journalists want to be a bunch of looky-loo dickheads. And I could see that. It depends on the races. Different races give different credits. Okay. Well, I would like to move on now. And I'm not going to move on because Magic Circle told me to. He's not my dad. He can't tell me what to do. Ruddy Games says, I think the problem with it is to earn more credits, you need to spend credits on faster cars. So if you earn 600K, you might have to spend 100K. Okay. Uncle Filthy says it depends on what you do in Gran Turismo. Maybe you take a long ass time doing a license test, you won't earn much, but you can grind out some basic races and make $1 million. Okay. Sector says, imagine if Elden Ring you could buy power-up items from Cash Shop. Well, you kind of can. That's what we opened the show with, talking about people selling runes on eBay. It's not a skill thing, says Zandatsu. It's about what you're doing in the game. If you want to grind credits, you can do that in less time than just playing the campaign. Okay, good. Well, that's what I was asking. Okay. The review score went up. It's sitting at an 88. Gran Turismo. I thought it was always in an 88. Kia, speaking of all this stuff, says, Jaffe, are you concerned how Sony will execute Twisted Metal as a possible live service game? You think it can work? I mean, I don't know what their plan is. I certainly think that it's going to be very hard to make a Twisted Metal game as we know Twisted Metal today relevant, regardless of what your business model is. So for me to say I think it'll work, you have to answer two questions. What is their relevance, or what is their design that makes it relevant for today's gamers? And more importantly, once they find that relevancy, how are they going to monetize it? Without knowing those things, you're just, I let's put it this way. I haven't heard, and I've been one of many people trying over the last, 5, 6, 7 years, how to revitalize that franchise. So if someone's got a great idea, that's awesome. But I certainly didn't come up with one, and I couldn't find anybody who could come up with one either. Well, Zaf, let's be clear. He says it's crazy that GT is doing this when Forza lets you get new cars and upgrade parts for points and earn in game. My understanding is you can earn it all in game as well. It's just that when you buy, it's a shit ton of money, of real money. Okay. I would like to move on. I want to talk to people when Magic Circle, and as much as I jumped on them for it, I don't disagree. It's I don't have a producer for this show, so it's hard to know when to move forward with something. So I like, if I need to move on, it'd be nice to have a nicer way to say, let's move on. Fuck you. But here's the point: we are moving on, but it's kind of related. Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't understand this. Their pre-orders must be low. Now, why you would pre-order a game in this day and age, I don't really know. But let's assume you're one of those people. Tango Gameworks, which is the developer, which is now owned by Microsoft, but they're shipping this timed exclusive first this month. Tango Gameworks has announced an amendment to the PS5 pre-order incentive for Ghostwire Tokyo, says Games Radar. Those who previously purchased Ghostwire Tokyo were promised a biker outfit and helmet. Digital, not real. The updated pre-order bundle says the premium biker outfit pack now comes with 8 extra color variants, okay? Why in the goddamn Sam Hill you would pre-order this fucking game? I don't know. This game has wait for reviews or people to play it online or videos written all over it. I was very excited about this game because of the development team involved, and as importantly, thematically, it looks really fucking cool. And then they did a state of play, and it didn't really show much of anything. It didn't answer a lot of questions. You don't really know what the loop is. You don't know if there are puzzles and there's exploration, or if it is just kind of like wander an open city and trigger a combat event and do it and upgrade. I mean, you don't know what it is. As far as I could tell, I watched the whole state of play. I live streamed it. I talked to the chat. They didn't know what it was either, in terms of that aspect of the game. Fear Sizzle says, after the state of play we watched, it made me hold off on a pre-order. Right. So my guess would be that they're sweetening the pot, maybe, I don't know, hoping to get more pre-order. I mean, you're always wanting to get more pre-orders, but why in this day and age, unless you're like our own Eddie Torres or sometimes Rob the Mod, who likes to collect stuff, to pre-order a game that doesn't come with anything real? Why? So you can have some fucking digital outfit that it's not even a multiplayer game. So what? You're running around and isn't it a first-person game too? What the fuck would I want to get an outfit for that I can't even see in the goddamn Cock-a-Doodle game? It's first person, right? I don't want to buy any new games, says Spaz, because lately I'm spending a lot of time with Elden Ring. Oh, well, I mean, that's the goddamn thing. There's so many games right now that are out that are phenomenal that it's almost, because in fact, let me just jump to it. I didn't realize that today Triangle Strategy's out. Now, this wasn't really on my radar because it's called Triangle Strategy, which is one of the worst names of a video game in an industry filled with terrible names. Triangle Strategy is up there as one of the worst, but they say it's pretty fucking good. It's sitting at an 83, and the people who are really into turn-based strategy, tactical strategies, and I am, I'm like, fuck, dude, I want to play this so badly. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to play it. Jacob Martin says there are not that many games out. Why are people saying this? It's not that there are... it's that there are games that are out right now that are genuinely good to great, that are really meaty as fuck. And so it's not that you've got 100 games out. It's that in the span of a month, you've got Dying Light, Horizon, Elden Ring. There's that Warhammer strategy game that's supposed to be phenomenal. That's what they're talking about. It's just so many really deep, meaty, good fucking games. And I don't know when I'm going to get to play Triangle Strategy, but yeah, I haven't heard much about it. I was surprised it came out today. But there is a demo. Briney says get the demo. I will, of course. Ghost Tsushima had a low 80s? I don't think so. I think it was a little higher. Let's see. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. Well, you're absolutely right. I'm absolutely wrong. An 83. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Well, yeah, Sector says triangle is the word sankaku in Japanese and it has more meaning there. It's lost in translation. Isn't that somebody's job at, I don't know, Square Enix, back to Square Enix marketing? It's like, maybe you want to change the name. for other territories. Movies and games do that all the time. Anyway, let's move on. I want to tell you something. Sometimes the nice guys win. Okay, I want to tell you one of those quick stories. This was a developer. I had not counted this developer out at all, but I had, and you tell me who you think I'm talking about. This is a developer that in PS3, a little bit of PS4 generation, was ruling the roost, covered in the media, a media darling, awards, very good selling games. He was the tits, okay? And then he released something off of Sony's platform. You didn't hear many people talking about him anymore. The guy's tenacious. I know him. He's a really good guy. But I kind of figured, well, maybe he's had his time in the sun. Let's see what he does. It's not Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann's currently high on the hog. It's not Neil Druckmann. Somebody else. I'll give you two more guesses, and I'm going to tell you who it is. It's not me. I was more PS1, PS2 when I was on that hog. Give me one more. Come on now. Give me one more guess. Boogie 2988. 29988. No. Cliffy B. No. Okay. Gilbert Gottfried. Of course. Yes. Genova Chin and that game company. Okay. So if you don't know Genova Chin, PlayStation indie darling, one of the guys that really brought indie games more into the mainstream than almost any other company out there. They started with Flow, that was a USC project. They went on to do Flower, which is one of my fucking favorite games of all time. Then they did Journey, which I know the world loves. I didn't care for all that much, but Flower is the shit. And then they left Sony, and they said, we're going to, I don't know where they got their funding from, we're going to do this game called Sky. And Sky Island or Sky or whatever, I played for a little bit on my phone, and I was like, not for me. I moved on with my life. But listen to this. This is the news today about that game company. This is pretty good goddamn news. Where'd it go? Got to find the goddamn thing first. Here it is. Journey and Sky developer, that game company nets $160 million. They've secured a $160 million investment to create new interactive play experiences. Good for them. Like I said, I know Genova. He is a good dude. Pixar co-founder Ed Catmull. If that doesn't impress you, it should. Was one of the biggest names at Pixar. He wrote a brilliant book about managing Pixar called On Creativity. I highly recommend it. And before that, he was, I want to say, at Evans and Sutherland, where the guys at Single Track were, who made Twisted Metal, working on the original 3D graphics chips for things like military sims. Okay, so Ed Catmull is now a principal advisor on creative culture and strategic growth, and they got $160 million. That game company is using the cash to expand development, make the team bigger, organizational infrastructure better, while pursuing projects that, quote, deepen human connection through gameplay. They'll keep supporting Sky, which has over 160 million downloads. Genova Chin says he wants to create a title that emotionally appeals to people of all ages, identities, and backgrounds within a single experience. He says that like that doesn't exist. I mean, that kind of exists already, but whatever. I mean, I've always liked his earnest take on why he makes games, to bring people together, to have positive messages, and he seems to have a real knack for being able to pull that off in a way that makes people really happy. Oh shit, Max Ankar's here. He says Cecil Kim works at that game company now. Cecil, if you don't know, was a concept artist at Santa Monica. He was one of the original concept artists with Charlie Wynn on the first God of War. He also did some Twisted Metal Black designs that you can find online that did not make it into the game, but boy, oh boy, they're freaky as fuck. Yeah, he's the real deal, Cecil Kim. Yeah, so Max says he's over at that game company. So Max is saying Sky is gigantic in Korea and China. So there you go. Oh, Rocker Matt, I don't want to watch it. He says, I sent you a useful farming video for Elden Ring. I don't want to watch it. Thank you, though. I kind of want to, I mean, trust me, there's going to be points where I ask for help, but I kind of am enjoying being lost in that world. We'll talk about it in just a second. Let's talk about one of the worst companies on the planet, Activision Blizzard. Listen to this. Wait a minute, let me get a drink of the bubbly and let me meditate for 2 seconds, because we're raging into the Elden Ring discussion, but not quite yet. Hang on. If you are driving or listening to the podcast, this is the part where I kind of settle. I don't take breaks, but I meditate a little bit, just like for 10 seconds. Don't worry about it. It's like, what the fuck is this, Jeff? Is this a cult? No, I just need to center. Hang on. I'll be right back. If you're curious about what happens when we die, the closest thing I've ever come to understanding what happens when we die, at least what I think happens when we die, can be found via meditation. Serious meditation. If you do it, you'll start to discover some things. Pretty great. Balerion says, Jaffe, since Square Enix hit below expectations for Avengers, Guardians, and Babylon's Fall, do you think Sony should try and lock them in and purchase them? Maybe, but there are people who are suggesting that it indicates that maybe Microsoft is lining up to grab them, because pretty much all of their games are now on Game Pass, and they are also developing for them in a very unusual relationship that you very rarely, if ever, see, certainly in America. They're developing Perfect Dark with Microsoft, but it's Crystal Dynamics, not Square Enix. It's very strange. It's very strange. So I just lost my thing. I haven't done shrooms yet. No. Hang on. Did my thing just crash? It might have. Yeah, it just crashed. Hang on. Let me restart. I'm still here, though. Don't worry, fellas. Okay. You know, Jaffe, we're not worrying. We were hoping you went away. That's mean. That breaks my heart. Let's talk about Microsoft. Oh, by the way, today is a spin the wheel day. So if you are thinking of getting a shiny new Gabbin' Games membership, just letting you know that we are doing wheel spins today. I got to let you know, because every day it's not, but today is. So there you go. Okay. Activision. We got to talk about Activision real quick. Activision Blizzard sued by a family of employee who committed suicide. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, this is the story of the woman who tragically took her own life because of sexual harassment or alleged sexual harassment at Activision. Here's what happened to her. Washington Post reports a family of Activision Blizzard employee who committed suicide during a company retreat has filed suit, claiming her boss had sexually harassed her and it was a significant factor leading to her suicide. The suit also accused the employee's boss of lying to police about her death, hiding that he had a sexual relationship with her, and covering up evidence. As for Activision, the family is saying Blizzard Activision wouldn't turn over the company's laptop to police, claimed her cell phone had been wiped, and refused to provide the boss's computer or phone either. This is also the same woman that there was a picture of her vagina being passed around a holiday Activision party. And that obviously was rude, humiliating, sad. I don't know what her response was, but clearly contributed. Activision's like, yeah, we don't know anything about that. But, now we're back with, getting some more details and one more lawsuit, which makes sense than this next article that says, not making light of the woman's tragic actions, that's heartbreaking. And if Activision's guilty, I hope they get the fuck suit out of her. Activision Blizzard, this is coming from Video Games Chronicle, Activision Blizzard says it's facing difficulties attracting and retaining talent. I don't know why. How can that be? In its annual report, the company said its recruitment problems are likely to be exacerbated by ongoing litigation and bad press. Yeah, you think? You fucking morons? Additionally, recent litigation, this is a quote, involving the company relating to workplace and employee concerns and related media attention can be expected to have an adverse effect on our ability to attract and retain employees and has resulted in work stoppages. Yes, because you are literally the embodiment of hell and Hades on earth, led by the devil, Bobby Kotick. Bobby Kotick, in Wall Street Journal November story, said he was aware of a lot of these sexual allegations. He didn't do anything except lie about them. He also was accused of mistreating several female employees himself, including leaving a voicemail in which he threatened to have an assistant killed. Okay? So there's Activision for you, fellas. Now listen to this. We're gonna get off this, but Activision also, just kind of related, blames. They basically can't find. There's a law in California that says if you have a certain number of board members, a number of them have to be women. And Activision can't find any women to be on the board. Or to fill the quota. They're saying it's because the acquisition of Microsoft, no one wants to join and then, get fired. Okay, maybe there's some truth to that. And maybe if you're a fucking woman, the last place in the world you'd want to be, besides in bed with Bobby Kotick, is on the goddamn board at Activision. The last thing I'll tell you, I was talking to somebody in the industry, and I'm not telling you who it was. Very secretive individual, and I appreciate why they are. Brilliant human. And we're talking the other night, and they say to me, the thing that is weird that no one's talking about when it comes to Activision is that Phil Spencer does a press release saying we are reevaluating our relationship with Activision, okay? And when it came out, even though I did a video about it, and I said, well, if he doesn't actually do something, and Jim Ryan made a similar statement, not as specific, if neither one of them does anything and nothing happens at Activision, well, then it's just lip service. That's how I read the story. But then it comes out recently that the day after the Wall Street Journal report, or a couple of days after, I think it was the day after, that is when Microsoft, it hadn't been a deal in the making for years. It was the day after, and a day or two after Phil Spencer released that statement, apparently the stock continued to drop. And that's when Microsoft came in and said, hey, we want to talk about acquiring you, okay? And this guy last night says to me, he says, to me, I look at it more like, are people going to say that was stock manipulation? And I said, what do you mean? Like my brain doesn't work that way. This guy's much smarter than I am. And he says, well, if you're Phil Spencer and you're thinking about talking to Microsoft and you can contribute to their stock price dropping, which means they are more of a target to acquire, and when you release a vague statement like, we have to reconsider our relationship with Microsoft, well, or with Activision, well, suddenly does that mean what? Microsoft is no longer going to have Call of Duty. Microsoft is no longer going to let World of Warcraft and Hearthstone run on Windows computers. What does it mean? What does it mean? I don't know, but I don't think the future looks rosy for Activision. I'm pulling my money and the stock goes down. I'm not saying that's what happened, but when he pitched me that, I was like, that's weird. That's weird. Maybe. I have no evidence of that. I'm just sharing because I thought that was really, if he's right, the deal may not go through. Hell, people may go to jail. I don't fucking know. Yeah, so Sony came out first. Jim Ryan came out first, but Jim Ryan didn't say we are reevaluating our relationship. He just said, hey, and it was a company email. It wasn't a press release. He says, if I remember correctly, he's like, it's unacceptable. We're disturbed by it. We're going to keep following this. There was nothing committal. It was just he was making it clear, hey, we don't like this. Phil Spencer literally said, we're going to reevaluate this relationship. Yeah, Jim Ryan, Eric Lennon did not do the same thing. He came out and he was critical, but he did not come out and say, we're going to make any changes. Again, I'm not selling you on this. I heard this for the first time last night. I just thought it was worth mentioning. Zero Signal says, you're telling me Phil Spencer, everyone's best friend and not at all a businessman who would do something kind of slimy? Why, I'd never. Oh, I know. So we should always think that about all our politicians, too. Mr. K says that's 100% what happened. I don't know about manipulation, but Phil put out a statement condemning Activision, and that same moment he put a deal together. Ballerion says, since it's basically manipulating stocks with insider knowledge of a deal. Well, yeah, but yeah, whether it was the day after or before, you could argue it was the deal. They were trying to bring the stock down in order to make the deal more doable and less expensive. I don't fucking know. Van says, I'm high and it makes sense to me. You should be a judge. That should be the way you judge cases. But I don't know. Matt J says, okay, Jaffe, you crazy old man, entertain me on my ride to get some weed. I had weed delivered today. I had MedMen here in San Diego. If MedMen would sponsor me, I'd be happier than a pig in shit. I had MedMen come to me at my very door, and I says, I would like you to bring me a couple of edibles, and they did, and I'd like you to bring me some carts from a vape, and they did. They're nice people. They're salt of the earth. The only thing I want more than a sponsorship from MedMen is a goddamn hat that I can wear that says MedMen. Look at that. Anthony Wright's been a member for goddamn 6 months. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate the continued support. You are salt of the earth, have a smoke of the pipe, and a tickle of the pickle. Let me read you what he says. Jaffe, I've literally died 3 times. The only thing they have in common other than bad luck, nothing at all happens. Nothing. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about death. Yeah, I have died 3 times. The only thing they have in common other than bad luck, nothing at all happens. I'm not walking around telling you I know the secret of life. I'm telling you that I've had experiences that make me think otherwise. But yeah, I've also heard people say that they've died and they've been brought back and it was just black and they have no recollection of it. It's like going under anesthesia. Because when you're saying it's nothing, I don't think you were aware of nothing, were you? You were only aware of nothing when they brought you back. Yeah, Touchy says, I love we have weed delivery in California. What a time to be alive. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let's move forward, shall we? Okay. Here's how we're kicking off the Elden Ring portion of the show. I have not seen... The headline's been going on all day. I've been waiting to watch it with you guys. So if you've seen it, bear with me. It's only 4 minutes. And if you're listening, I'll put a time code in tonight or tomorrow morning, and we'll see what happens. You can skip it. This is the headline from Push Square. This dramatic tie ad for Elden Ring has to be seen to be believed. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to see it now. I'm going to watch it with you guys. Let's watch it on the YouTube. And it's 3 minutes, 55 seconds, and then we're going to get into talking. Here we go. In a ring. In a modern time, eating dinner with her family. You dropped Grandma's ring. Why are you so careless, the husband says. How could you break such a precious ring? I didn't mean to, she says. It slipped out of my hand. And what to do? We can't mend it anymore. It's too fast. I can't read it to you. Sarah, she's really upset. Or the mom's picking it up and the grandma's like, oh, you bitch. She's like, you don't know what you're doing. Let me help you. So now there's an airplane landing at a goddamn Cock-a-doodle airport. There's a dude who's riding in kind of a cab or an Uber. I guess he's coming home. And he's thinking about his mom saying, you're a terrible kid.
ต้นพฤกษาทองครับ ช่วยให้ผมสอบผ่านได้เถอะครับสาธุช่วยผมด้วยนะครับช่วยผมด้วย
นี่มันแหวนประจำตระกูลต้องเป็นของพ่อ
แต่ฉันเป็นเมียคุณนะฉันต้องได้เยอะสุด
ผมเป็นน้องพี่ผมมีสิทธิ์ได้
ผมเป็นลูกพ่อ
หนูอยู่บ้านนี้หนูก็มีสิทธิ์เหมือนกันแต่หนูก็เป็นคนในตระกูลนี้หนูก็มีสิทธิ์เหมือนกัน
ไม่ได้ต้องเป็นของพ่อ
ฉันไม่ได้
อะไรเนี่ยต้องเป็นของพ่อพ่อเป็นหัวหน้าครอบครัว
หยุดทะเลาะกันได้แล้วครอบครัวเดียวกันแท้ๆมูมาแย่งเศษแหวนกันซะงั้นเห็นต้นพฤกษาทองไหมมันจะทนฟังไม่ได้จนจะแห้งตายอยู่แล้วแล้วนี่คุณย่าไปไหน
นี่พวกเราทำให้คุณย่าหนีออกจากบ้านไปอีกแล้วใช่ไหมย่าครับย่าหายไปไหนมา
ย่าไม่ได้ไปไหนลูกไม่ต้องเป็นห่วงทุกอย่างจะดีขึ้นถ้านักรบผู้มัวหมองกลับคืนมา
Elden Ring เกมที่จะพาคุณมุ่งสู่ดินแดนมัชชิมาในมหาสงครามแย่งชิงเศษเสี้ยวแห่งวงแหวนเอลเดนกับเกมเพลย์สุดโหดตามแบบฉบับฮิเดทากะมิยาสกิผู้สร้างเกมซีรีส์ Dark Souls ดำดิ่งไปกับเนื้อเรื่องแห่งเทวตำนานสุดลึกล้ำจากจินตนาการของจอร์จอาร์มาร์ตินผจญภัยในแผนที่สุดกว้างใหญ่งดงามและดันเจียนสลับซับซ้อนระทึกไปกับระบบการต่อสู้สุดเร้าใจในเกมแอคชั่น RPG สุดมันเจ้าคู่มัวหมองเอ๋ยพร้อมเข้าร่วมสงครามแล้วหรือยังสงครามสำหรับผู้ที่จะได้ขึ้นเป็นราชาแห่งเอลเดนแต่เพียงผู้เดียว
ตีบอลเลยคุณย่ากดตรงนี้ใช้สกิลพิเศษ
นี่ย่าไม่ใช่มือใหม่นะดูย่าแล้วจำตัวอย่างเอาไว้นี่ต้องอย่างนี้
Pretend that old lady is Spaz when he's helping me play games. So there you go. That's Elden Ring, the ad running in Thailand, which is pretty good. I won't spoil it if you're just listening, but if you're watching it, yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, and it seems to be working given that the game is selling like goddamn gangbusters, and it really is dominating the conversation on social media as well. So I want to give you my Spasmo says Grandma is better than Jaffe at Elden Ring. Well, she definitely has a better sword, that's for goddamn sure. What I'll tell you is this is time for me to talk about Elden Ring for a moment. So I want to show you, I have not finished the game. So can I review it? Who cares? Fuck you. That's my answer. I'm going to give you my review of it. Here's my my bona fides or whatever. Okay. Here's my character, Taylor Swift. She's level 56. I've been playing, according to this, about 55 hours. Probably, I haven't left it on for a while. It's not like I left it on overnight. So, if you want to be conservative, I'd say I've been playing for about 45 to 50 hours. Level 56. Okay. So I've played, if that's not enough, Ruddy Game says Green Taylor. I named her Taylor Swift with an intention of making her Taylor Swift, and then I realized I was unable to figure out how to really do anything, so I just said, fuck it. Okay, so I've played, if that's not long enough for my opinion to matter to you, that's okay, I appreciate that, but fuck off. Okay. I want to tell you, and this is one of the reasons, honestly, I got a little frustrated the other day when people looked at my video and thought I didn't like the game because I said it didn't deserve a 97. And that wasn't me being silly. I was talking specifically about a handful of those reviewers that are inconsistent when it comes to where they value graphics in their policy, in their review policy. And I think, I think the game is, it's highly imaginative visually. It's no way as imaginative as Bloodborne in terms of monster design or world design. The world is very similar, very samey. But that's its weakest part. Okay? I think if I had a gun to my head and someone said you have to pick your favorite game of all time, I would be stunned if it doesn't end up being Elden Ring. Elden Ring is just phenomenal, and I want to talk to you about why I think that is, because it does something really neat, really cool. And believe it or not, I think there's a lot of Metal Gear Solid, specifically Metal Gear Solid 4. It's as much Metal Gear Solid 4 to me, and that's why I love it as it is Bloodborne. And I finished Bloodborne last week, and I played the shit out of Demon Souls. I'm not a good player. I'm not a Souls player. I didn't want to play something punishingly hard. But let me tell you why this game is so fucking awesome. So the first thing is people were saying, well, we don't know if, and people are still saying this, although I think this game proves that they're wrong, would a Souls game work in an open world? I think not only does it work, but having played Bloodborne recently and this now, I think it works better than the structure of like a Bloodborne. And I'm not an open world guy. I just don't care for open world games for the most part. They're overwhelming and they're samey. And if you look at the Souls structure or the Bloodborne structure, it is a linear difficulty, right? So you might let's say Bloodborne, all right, because in my head, because I just finished, you might finish one of the gravestones and unlock the next one. Well, it's getting progressively more difficult, right? It's a very linear ramp to go from that first town, Old Yorm or whatever, getting all the way up to the final boss when you unlock these headstones. And yes, in Elden Ring, there is a primary path that you can follow with the shards of light, give you that direction. And if you just want to play the pure narrative from start to finish, it does progressively ramp. But in putting it in an open world, and I just got to rave about this because there's so many fucking cool aspects of it. Tone says, Jaffe, the reason you're saying samey is you've only seen 20%. How the fuck do you know what I've seen? I've been underground. I've been to the desert with all the fire people and the crazy rolling machines. I've been to the fields. I've been to the castles. I've been to the tree. Are there more areas? I'm sure there are. But, you know, I've unlocked probably 65% of the map. I'm not saying it's all the same, but it's samey. Fuck off. At least so far. And I've been playing it for 50 fucking hours. But let me talk about the map. Let me talk about why this is so great. You're fine. I've only seen half. Maybe that may be great. Then it'll be another feather in its cap. That there's a lot more variety. But so far, not yet. And whatever. I'm still playing it. I love it. It's my favorite game of all time. Jesus Christ, what do you want from me? I have to love everything about it? But listen. The open world aspect of it. So they start you off roughly in the center of this massive fucking map. Okay, so you can go anywhere, and as you go anywhere at any time, it's not like Zelda where it's like, well, you can't get across the bridge until you get the whistle. You got to get the whistle. You know, there are certain choke points, but not really. You can get on your horse and ride to the end of the map the minute you get the game and run past almost every enemy, and you can see all kinds of cool shit. You get your ass kicked, but you can do it. But as you branch out from that center point of the map, there's varying difficulty. So there's no longer this sense of, well, it's going to get harder, so my only option is to farm and grind, right? When I talk about Metal Gear, and I mean Metal Gear 4, I didn't play 5, but Metal Gear 4, what I loved about that game is it felt so organic in that you could try so many things, and they all kind of worked, right? So in this game, if you're stuck, for example, if you're stuck in Elden Ring, of course, the obvious, what you get to do in Bloodborne and Souls is, I'll go farm. Let me go build up my blood echoes. Let me go build up my runes. Let me put those into strength. Let me put those into endurance. I'll do a little bit better. And that's awesome. I was addicted to Bloodborne. I don't have a problem with that system. But when you make it open world like this, you have so many more ways to go about the struggle and overcoming a specific struggle. And they flow into each other organically and seamlessly. So I might be stuck on a boss. And so I say, I'm going to get on my horse. I'm going to ride around. I'm going to farm up. And I do that for a little bit. And maybe I get just strong enough to feel comfortable in an area that I was barely comfortable in before. And in that, I discover a character in a side quest. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'll do that. I do the side quest. I get an item. Suddenly that item, after I found a character to initiate that item, allows me to take down that boss without even farming. Like, for example, I was fighting that, the first big boss is called Margit. Oh, come on, really? I hate that name. It's dumb. Margit. And I was slowly doing the farming route, chipping away. And I was having a great time. I don't dislike that. But certainly it was like, oh my God, and it takes a long time to chore up. And in the choring up, or in the farming up, I encountered the ability to buy that jellyfish magic, which is this jellyfish character that goes around with you and spits poison on your enemies until it's dead. Well, suddenly between that and leveling up my crossbow, which I had never used, I took that guy down easy. I was like, God, he's dead already, right? Or stealth actually matters. I don't like stealth games, but there are these big giant fucking war machines in the Badlands or whatever it's called, which is like fire and post-apocalyptic or whatever. And it's this metal machine with wheels, and it's a big head, and it spews fire everywhere. And it'll fucking kill you. If you touch the front of it, you're dead one hit. It's deadly. But it's driven by a guy in the back, right? And he's got some hit points, but that's what you have to do. You have to kill the guy in the back, and the machine goes away. And so suddenly I'm using stealth for the game. I had been struggling with the trolls, and I finally farmed up enough to become strong enough that I could take them down after a couple of minutes. And then later I unlocked a certain ability that let my sword do this blood attack. And suddenly I'm killing them like fucking squashing ants when I was a kid, right? It gives you so many ways to go about playing it that, and they flow into each other. It doesn't just feel like, I'll take the farming route, I'll take the quest route, I'll take the stealth route. It's just like, and in that not being a delineated path, but more of an organic marbled into the whole experience, it absolutely nails the sense of being on an adventure. It doesn't feel like you're playing the game. It feels like you're living the life of this adventure. And then the piece de resistance, I think, the shit, the tits. I go from classy to not. That's my brain. Is the fact that unlike Ghost Tsushima, which, like I said, is one of my favorite games of all time, unlike Days Gone, which I loved, it's one of the first open world games I can remember, or that I've ever played, that fills the open world with a lot of handcrafted content. So it's not like in Ghost where it's like, yes, it's beautiful, but it's pretty much like, imagine a giant map of Tsushima, and then it's like the developer's like, okay, we've got 90% of it is going to be these 12 modular things. There's the sword fighting, there's fighting on horses, there's exploring, blah, blah, blah. And then we have 10% for special cases, maybe, in cutscenes. That's what Spider-Man does it, Tsushima does it, what are they called? Ubisoft does it. Well, in this game, holy shit, man, you're wandering through the fucking fields and you find this giant wagon that's being pulled by these trolls that have been chained up to it. And suddenly it's not, you don't have to fight it, you can go past it, or you can say, oh, what the fuck is going on here, right? You find characters scattered all over the world that offer really compelling quests. You find castles and ruins and things that are actually handcrafted and designed. And it feels like they've really put the time into every inch of the map. Now, part of that's hyperbole, but that's the way the game makes you feel. I would not be surprised if you looked at the design document and they said, okay, 50% of our design is going to have to be modular. We'll never finish the game. But here's the tactics here's how we're going to use that modularity to trick the player into thinking it's more handcrafted than it really is. But whatever the result, or whatever the technique, the result is that between almost everything you do works. And what you do can be wildly different from moment to moment, and it works. So it feels like you're living. And being in the world does not feel artificial, because there's always things happening that are handcrafted and interesting. I have never played a game that has felt this immersive in my fucking life. I want to be in this world. I want to spend time in this world. My kids are going to a sleepover tonight. I have the place to myself tonight. I can't wait after dinner and after I see them off to just sit for 5, 6, 7 hours and just play all goddamn night. I want to be in the world of Elden Ring. I love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. If I had to rate the cockadoodie goddamn thing, I would give it a 9 out of 10. As a fun factor, as a piece of engagement, I give it a 10 out of 10. But if you're rating it as a product, you have to accept the fact that the visuals and even the art direction so far, now maybe the 50% I haven't seen will convert me. The art direction, it's fine, but compared to Bloodborne, come on now. Compared to Ratchet & Clank Rift, come on now. I'm not just talking quality, I'm talking art direction. People are like, art direction's different than graphics. Fine, let's talk art direction. It's fine, it's generic. It's not the most amazing visuals I've ever seen and art direction I've ever seen. Same with the monsters in the game. Some of the monsters are amazing. I fought this one fucking thing that was like a spider with all these fucking arms and body parts hanging off it. It was awesome. But the graphics, there you go. The sound is, once you've been spoiled by Microsoft first party and Sony first party sound teams, the level of immersion that the soundscapes from those studios give you is second to none. And when you have visuals that are good, the Elden Ring visuals are good, they're just not best of breed, that are as evocative as the ones are, and they don't come with it, they don't bring with it the soundscape at the level, at the audio fidelity that you're used to from other top tier games, it's missing. The soundtrack is so far not all that special. There's a couple of moody emotional moments, but it's not all that great, right? But I mean, so if I'm rating the whole product, that's where it loses a point. Who cares? It's so stupid. What? Oh, it's 9, it's 10. All I'm saying, though, is as a game, it's one of the best things I've ever played. It may end up being my favorite game of all time. I adore it. I love it. I'm going to go to the chat now. But thank you for listening to an old man ramble about his new favorite game. And thank you to the chat here at Gavin and Games for helping me get accustomed to Bloodborne. Now, the question becomes, so I could play this. The question is, if I had not played Bloodborne, how could I enjoy this? I do think the onboarding in this game is much, much better. And much more clear. There's still a lot of mystery and weird shit, but it's a lot better. Bloodborne onboarding is horrible. I had that game for 4 years before I understood how to play it. And then I was off to the fucking races. Boom, there you go. 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, depending on how you define it. That's the Bloodborne review. It's not called Bloodborne. That's the Elden Ring review. Hope you give it a shot if you're into such malarkey. Thank you. That's for the video. All right, let's talk. Would you have beaten Margit if you didn't play Bloodborne? Yes. If I... It's a hard question to answer. If you're asking, did I gain any kind of skills, the answer, and that's what helped me beat Margit, then the answer would be no. It's got nothing to do with that. But Bloodborne made me addicted to the farming aspect of the Souls games. And I didn't know how to level up in Bloodborne for 4 years. It didn't make any fucking sense. Well, once I loved the combat and I understood the value of leveling up, like I said, that organically led me not just to level up, but to discover all kinds of new things. And in that new thing I discovered was this fucking jellyfish that allowed me to fucking take this motherfucker to town. Well, I wouldn't have discovered that if I wouldn't have enjoyed the combat, because I was farming while I ended up inadvertently discovering that character. Elden Ring, says Tones, is the easiest and most accessible for new players from game to date. It is now my all-time favorite game. I haven't, Gnaw Dog, I've heard a lot of people compare it to Capcom's Dragon Dogma. I have not played that. And what I will say is interesting. So Sir Nick says the graphics are good on Elden. That is until you compare to other games out there. So here's something. The Souls fandom are just so annoying. It's like, fuck you. I talked about them at the top of the show. Okay? But the thing that you can also say is when you put out this game in the same 2-week period as Horizon, and they're both open world games, I'm sorry, but Horizon absolutely trounces the fuck out of this game visually in terms of technical quality. It raises the bar for open world games. If you think it doesn't, you're in denial. Okay? At the same time, though, and I Horizon's not my cup of tea. but certainly Ghost of Tsushima is, and a lot of those kind of Sony open world games I love. But where Horizon suffers in comparison to Elden Ring is the comparison to a game that makes it feel like you are living in your story. You have died and gone to Elden Ring, and this is your experience. Between that and Horizon's very, not linear, but very weird telling you a story. This is who your main character is. This is how she acts. We are the directors. You are a passenger. Sit back and enjoy the tale. Nothing's wrong with those kind of games. But this is best in breed of the opposite kind of game. The game where the player is the writer. And the player discovers the story. And it's the player's character experience. It's not some pre-made character by a team a world away. And when you take Horizon, which is a good but not brilliant take on the linear adventure, and you compare it to a brilliant take on the open world, War Inspector, Harvey Smith kind of simulation, Ken Levine kind of simulation take of games, there's no doubt which game is better at a game level, right? It's just no fucking doubt. No fucking doubt. Nelzilla says, I have never farmed in a Souls game. Right? Well, you're good. And you can say, what the fuck? LOL. That's an obnoxious way to make your comment, but your comment is not obnoxious. Because what your comment says to me is that the game does let you play the way you want to play it. So if you're a really good gamer, that's awesome. That's great that you can roll and dodge and magic your way through the encounters and you never farm. Great. I'm not that kind of gamer. I'm not that good. But I still can play the game and love the game doing it that way. So, you know. Quarsma, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, thoughts on confirmed Jack and Daxter movie. Between Jack and TM seems to be no logic behind PlayStation Productions. All I can tell you, besides thank you very much for the super chat, is that I mentioned on the stream the other day that I had a chat with PlayStation Productions. And I cannot tell you what we talked about, of course. I mean, other than what I've already shared about Twisted Metal. But I can just tell you that I asked them when they told me some of the stuff they have coming down the line. I said, can I please tell people that? And they said, fuck no, you can't tell people that. I'm like, oh, I don't happen to think a Jack and Daxter movie is a good idea, but who the fuck knows? Okay. But the stuff they have working on, and we didn't talk about Jack and Daxter, the stuff they are working on that hopefully you'll hear about soon, fuck. You'll be very happy with the stuff they're working on. It's cool shit, man. It's cool shit. So that's all I can tell you. And I thank you for the super chat. So Jorge says, and you've been a member for 6 months. Thank you, sir. He says, I love the leveling too, Jaffe. In fact, I'm level 50 and I accidentally ran into him and destroyed Margit about 5 minutes ago. Yeah. So, I mean, and again, that may be because you play really well, or it may be because you had leveled up to such a degree, you know? I find farming fun and relaxing, says Tones, and a good way to perfect your combat. Me too. Absolutely. How do you level up in Bloodborne, Brandon? I mean, what do you mean? I mean, so in Bloodborne, when I mean I didn't understand how to level up, I literally didn't know. I'm not an idiot. I've played RPGs my whole life on and off, but I didn't understand what to do. And you have to basically go die or kill, but chances are you'll die at this boss, and then you unlock something called Insight. But the boss is deep into the first level, and the first level kicks your ass if you're not leveled up, or if you're not just a savant at these kind of games. And so I never got to the boss. And even when I got to the boss and I got the Insight, I didn't know what that meant. The game's not like, now you can go and level up. So, but you go to the first boss, die if you want to, or try to fight it, but you'll probably die. When you respawn, there's a doll there, and talk to the doll and she'll let you level up your blood echoes. It's very simple, but it's not simple in that they don't really fucking explain any of it, which some could say that's good, but I don't know. I'm not a fan. Truth Teller. Did we already do Truth Teller? Oh, we did. Congrats on beating Margit. Let's go for Godric the King for all that is golden. Well, people are at, I'm not very deep into the bosses. I've encountered a lot of bosses. I've encountered I don't know the names. The one that shoots fire, the dragon underground in the caves. I've encountered the 2 big pumpkin heads. I've encountered the ones at those discs that you warp to the other land. I've encountered the one at the far tip of the map, the giant knight in armor that spits fire from his hole in his face, who's awesome, where you have to attack the legs. But the only bosses I've actually beaten are like some knight with a flail and the tree sentinel and Margit, and I think 1 or 2 others. But I need a horror game where you play as a cute anime girl with giant boobs. Okay, well, maybe you should make that. I'm sure it would sell. Spazbo says that's not the only place to get the insight, but it's where most people get it. Well, the very point of not even knowing what insight is and not knowing that you need it and then not knowing where it is. And then when I played the game, everyone's like, just run past all the enemies and get to the boss, and then you'll be able to level up. There's just so much in there that maybe by now people like you've played it and beaten it ad nauseum go, that's just second nature. But for someone coming fresh to it, what the fuck is it? SM says leveling up only gets you so far in this game. I'm at level 80 and have hit a crazy wall. I'm not sure I'm even at midpoint of the game. Well, I guess my question is, what are you leveling up? Being level 80 doesn't really mean anything. Being level 80 where you've put everything into strength is a totally different game than if you've put a lot into magic and balanced it with strength and balanced with endurance. So, which is one of the things I love about the game. I mean, I thought I was going to be building a total tank character, and I've only slowly started building up my faith to build some magic because I'm finding how effective that actually is. That fucking game, thank you, buddy. He says, what do you think about adding an easy mode to Elden Ring? Would that really work or be necessary? That's the talk on every new From software. I don't care at all if they add an easy mode. I mean, I think the game as it is, a beautiful piece of high-end watch machinery that ticks and whines and moves exactly the way it was intended, and it is brilliant. I think if you added an easy mode and it had the dedication and time and discipline and talent applied to it, where they wanted to give really average or bad players a same experience, but it was easy, sure, why not? But I think if you just did the easy way of making games easy, which is hit points added or removed, damage added or removed, multipliers, I think you would really fuck up the structure, but I honestly don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't think the game, unless they had a lot of time to make an easy mode, would be near as good. And maybe it would hurt the game from a standpoint of sales and word of mouth. I don't know. That's sort of a marketing question and a focus test question. But for me, I really don't care if they had an easy mode. I don't know why people get so upset about it. I'd pay for an easy mode, says SM. I want to see the rest of Elden Ring, but I'm tired of the grind. Yeah, totally fair. And trust me, I doubt I'll finish this. As much as I say this is my favorite game of all time, doesn't mean I'll finish it. I'm playing it nonstop. Can't wait to get back to it. Will I have the discipline to actually push through the whole thing if it starts to not feel engaging and just starts to feel like I'm working? No. I'll move on because I have other things I want to play. SM's build is a mix of strength, endurance, health, and dexterity. Okay. Elden Ring's narrative threads are insanely obtuse, even with 50 tabs of guides open. Yeah, that NBMTX says that, and I don't do that. I don't want the guides, but I'm sure there'll come a point where I'll need them. I'm reading this little fight going on between the truth teller and server. I don't know what they're fighting about though. Can somebody give me a recap? But anyway, there you go. That's my take on Elden Ring. Now, I want to show you. What do you think about Forspoken, David? Cloud says, I don't know yet. I mean, I saw the initial trailer. It looked pretty fucking cool. Then I heard people playing a demo saying it was pretty empty and not fucking cool. So My mind is open, but I have no idea. CR says, Jesus Jaffe, your ADD is unparalleled. How the hell did you stick with the whole project for years as a game dev? Seems like you would have lost interest. No, because every day, ADD is actually pretty good for creative people because it's every day is different, right? So you're designing a boss in a month, and then that next month it's level design. Then you're writing story. Then you're meeting for technical issues. There's always something new and interesting. Grave Doll, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, Jaffe, we should have a Gabbing in Games group password for Elden Ring. I think we do. Or is that for Mario Kart? No, we have one. We have one already, and you can ask me what it is over on the Discord. We'll tell you. Although to be perfectly fair, I mean, I don't want to go adventuring with people. I thought I would want to go adventuring with people, but I don't know why. Maybe it's the game. This is so stupid. I'm not waxing romantic here, but genuinely speaking, the game feels personal to me. Like it feels like goodbye, Muppet Joe. Good to see you, buddy. The game feels. I don't mean personal. Like it feels intimate to me. Like I like being in the world alone. I don't. The minute I have people come into the game, it becomes, I see behind the scenes. I see the mechanics. It's like, go over here and do this. Go over here and do that. Do this, do this, do that. And it stops feeling like I'm living in the world, and it starts feeling like we're just kind of playing a checklist of like how to beat it. And that's not why I'm vibing with the game. I certainly want to progress, but it's a sense of being in the world and discovery that I just fucking adore. Yeah, there's a romance to the game solo, says Ducato. I agree. No, see, that's the thing, Spasbo. Spasbo says, you didn't like it when I played with you. I love it when you play with me, especially with other games, like we're going to play Mario Kart in a minute. But this game, it's hard to play with people because most people know a lot more about it than I do. And so it's kind of like somebody recommends a really good restaurant. You want to go and have your personal experience. And it's that recommendation, hey, go there, order this, that you're grateful for. But in the case of Elden Ring, when they're sitting by you going, okay, eat it this way. Now let me show you how to eat this. Now let's go over here. It stops being a personal experience and feels more like you're having a lot of fun, but that's not why I'm playing that particular game, if that makes any sense. Okay, so here's what we're talking about, fellas. I opened this show, and I showed you a thing. I says, well, are we there yet? Let's see where we're at. Hang on. Oh, by the way, I want to bring your attention to Ruddy Games. They're in the chat right now. Ruddy Games is a YouTube channel. It's also a Twitter account. Paste. I want to show you their Twitter account, because look what these folks did. So first off, he has made Kratos with beard, without beard. Yay! I got to figure out how to build that. That sounds great. Okay. Gandalf, come on, fantastic. And then they made the goddamn cockadoodie Joker. Come on. That's another thing I wish about this game that we don't have in this game right now, which is it feels like it... I wish I could see the personalization more. Like right now I'm running around with my character and she's not wearing a lot of armor. Part of it's because I like to roll a lot. And part of it is I'm like, I want to see what I've made. But I rarely put a helmet on there. Because I want to, so that's a little weird. And I wish I could unlock outfits that allowed me to personalize my character visually, but you really can't do that because so much about it is tied to the armor and the attributes and stats of the armor, that if you put something on, like I unlocked this scarlet cowl, like a Red Riding Hood cowl the other day, and I'm like, oh, I so want to wear it. But it was lower than the stats for just this generic helmet. So I kind of didn't. Is that Wolverine? Holy shit. You made Wolverine. Nice. I don't know who this is. This is a freaky dude. Freaky fucking deaky. It's like, that's you, Jaffe. It's kind of like Phil Harrison. A derpy version of Phil Harrison. All right. Oh, is that Joker without the makeup? Maybe that was Joker without the makeup. But anyway, there you go. There you go. We'll talk about that later. What is this? All right. Remember I showed you this at the beginning of the show? Remember I showed you this at the beginning of the show? I was like, what is this? This is such a sweet little story. Sweet little story. A teacher in Japan, a middle school teacher, 3 years ago, when his students came to class, he drew this on the board, right? Now, I don't know, Dragon Quest is much bigger in Japan than anywhere else, so obviously this is a cultural touchstone to a lot of people. And he says, I drew this because I wanted you guys to, it's all done in chalk, by the way. It's chalkboard, all done in chalk, not whiteboard or anything like that. He says, I wanted you guys to make a lot of new friends here at middle school. And I drew this kind of as a sense of building your party, building your clique, building your comrades that you're going to go on this adventure of middle school with. And I was like, that's sweet. That's nice. Okay. So it's been 3 years since. The guy stayed all night, 4 minutes until the kids started coming in. He finished this one. And this is him saying, it's basically the headline is Teacher Bookends 3 years with his class with 2 stunning pieces of chalkboard art. Now he has the box art of the latest Pokemon. And he basically said, where did he say it? It was very sweet. He said, third years who graduated. 3 years ago they celebrated, they'd be forming new friendships with the Dragon Quest. He says, because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to hold fun school events for students as often as we usually would. So at the very least, I wanted to give them a place where they could pose for photos together today. And also just the fact, it's just the idea that he said that this represents you now moving on from middle school into the rest of your life and starting your adult experience. And you're going to have these great adventures and you're going to meet new characters. And that's kind of what it represents. And I just thought that that was very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. And so I wanted to close the stream with something nice like that to head into our weekend. That has been Gabbin' and Games. Now, I do want to tell you, we're going to play Mario Kart on this Gabbin' and Games real quick. We're going to take like a 3-minute break. And if you want to play, you can win the Rotten Tanuki prize pack, which is going out this coming Wednesday. Day One Patch Kids is Rotten Tanuki's creation. They are a blend of the Garbage Pail Kids, the Cabbage Patch Kids, and video games. We got Toothache, we've got Cyberjunk, we've got Jolin 1, we've got Norman Fetus. They're awesome. And I will be sending you compliments of Rotten Tanuki, a Day One Patch Kids coffee mug, a Day One Patch Kids t-shirt, magnets, stickers, collectible cards. Okay? Here's how it's going to work. We're going to put, you as well, Matt DeMarco, have a great weekend, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with us. We are going to play 4 tracks of Mario Kart. So we're going to play for a cup. The player who wins the 4, I will send the pat to. If I win, we'll do it again next week until somebody wins it. Okay? So right now I'm playing. Spaz, I think you're playing. I don't know if Legends is still here. He was going to play. I don't know if fuck, you changed your name to the media company. God damn it, now I'm drawing a blank on your name. I don't know if you're going to play. So we're around. Let me know. So if you're going to play, we'll be back in a couple of minutes and we'll start. I just got to get another Coke, see what my kids are up to, and we will pick up the show and we will roll into the Mario Kart. But the show is over as a show. Thank you guys. Thank you, Rob the Mod and RPG. Thank you guys so very much. Blake, of course, Blake. Thank you, Rob, for modding the stream, keeping things on the straight and narrow. Thank you for the super chats. Welcome new members. Thank you for the company, the wonderful discussion. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Infernax. I've already started playing Infernax. Okay, hang on one sec, guys. All right, fellas. So give me a couple minutes. I'll be right back. We'll start. But yes, thank you guys very, very much. This will be time coded later tonight or tomorrow, as well as the podcast, and I'll see you this weekend on streams. Are you talking to me, server? I'm not paying attention to you. Oh, you're talking to David Lovitz. I would love to know what you guys are complaining about. What are you guys angry at this guy for? I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but I have no idea. It seems exciting. Infernax is really cool. I've already played about an hour of it, but I got totally sucked into Elden Ring. But yes, I would very much like to. I would very much like to get back to it. It's on Game Pass if you're curious. Okay, I'm back in a couple of minutes. I'll see you soon. That's not it. All right. One sec. We'll get started. My kids picked me up some movie theater popcorn, you know. It's so good. It's so good. I've tried to learn to make the shit. But my popcorn game has gotten better. It's not as good as what you get at the motion picture show. Come on now. God damn. All right, here we go. Let me get this set up. Oh, so good. Okay. Gravedoll, you bought Elden and Horizon? Yeah, I got them both too. I don't like butter. I'm not a big butter fan, Magic Circle. All right. I've not seen the Batman fish tacos, no. I want to see it, but it'll be out, you know, what was somebody saying? It'll be out in 45 days to stream. I rarely go to the movies anymore since COVID. Gravedoll, you can make it. The trick is you've got to have flavacol, which I have, and a certain kind of oil, which I have. But then you have to hit the temperature of the oil just right. So it's hot enough, but not too hot, so the flavacol sticks to it. So it's you got to be real ginger with it. And I'm not that good at it, but it's great when it works. Still better than microwave, goddamn right. You saw Batman today, it was really good? Cool. Pretty good. All right. Game Vet, go make that popcorn, baby. It's good people. All right, where's my fucking Mario Kart? Touchy. Yeah, I don't have the machine. That's the problem. I need to get the machine because I'm sitting there on the stove doing this shit. All, you know, whereas if you get the machine, it'll rotate it for you and keep it from burning and get you the right temperature. And that's really what you need. All right. I'm trying to, there we go. All right. You guys asked for it. Enough. I don't care. I cannot skip the credits. In the game so I can skip the fucking credits? Come on now. Don't close the fucking cockadoodie game. Alright. Oh, Rob, yeah, man. If you get a new Switch, that'd be great. Because, you know, we want to get more people in Mario Party, too. Did I practice? I mean, I'm playing this all the time. This is the toilet game. I play this when I'm pooping. Okay, so... Alright, so who's coming in? I'll go to... Is it this? Here's my friend code, right? I gotta give you my friend code or some such bullshit? I don't understand how this shit works. Somebody showed me the other day. I still don't really fucking know. Create room. I downloaded East West Babylon Falls demo, but I've heard so much terrible stuff about it. But I went to play the demo, and it was like they were like, "Oh, hey, give it, you know, make a Square Enix account and shit." And I'm like, "Man, go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna make a fucking account with my controller. No way. It's so dumb. It's like, guys, you want to sell me on your product. Don't fucking make me jump through hoops. I have a million other games. You're coming out the week, some of the biggest games of the year coming out. Fuck do I want to deal with that for? Okay, so who is playing? Let me know who's playing and if I need to give you a friend code. If it's basically people that are already in the friends group, then we'll just start. Yes, Legends, I'm trying to... How do I do that? David, you getting the House of the Dead remake? I might, actually. Only because you can use the Joy-Cons as a gun, right? Oh, hey, East West. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks, man. I might get it if I can, but I'm not going to get it and control a cursor with the thumbnails and shit. Where is my... How do I send you an invite, Legends? Because I know you need my friends code or something. It's not single player. Alright, online play. It's... What? I'm hitting it on the controller, you fuck. It's... What? Okay, hang on a minute. This is stupid. Where's my friend code? Okay, it's up here. Okay, here's my friend code. SW-4196 1170 5923. SW-4196 1170 5923. Yeah, I agree, Davey. The online is a pain in the ass on this thing. Oh, it's also coming to PS, so you can use your controller like this kind of thing. That's cool. All right, friend request received. Add friend? Friend request. Okay. Oh, Bacon, I agree. There's been some good stuff, man. Okay, is that everybody? Legends, do I have you in? Are you, did I friend you? And if so, we can start. Oh, Nintendo has that game as a timed exclusive. Okay. All right. No. Cyclone, you got to get in. Are you close? We can wait a little bit, but all right. So who's playing? I think Diva's playing. Right? What? How do I get these guys in? I don't want to compare stats. I just want them to join. Thank you, Rob the Mod. Appreciate it, bud. Do I have to go out and send them a fucking invite? Oh, I have to host the lobby myself. Okay. So, online play. Host the lobby. Okay. Oh, there's a new friend request. I'll get you in a second. Hang on. Okay. Let me get this other person in real quick. Oh, there's Cyclone. Cool. Okay. Magic Circle, yeah. Open to anybody who wants to play who gets in on time. Yeah. Do you want to play Magic Circle? Grave Doll, do you want to play? I know we're friends. You want to play? All right, Grave Dog. Yeah, Bacon Magma, yeah, You don't get an invite, Legends, you just join, right? Spaz is saying you don't need an invite. Just go to me and find the room. Yeah, Rob the Mod, that game looks pretty fucking good. It's gotten good reviews, Triangle Strategy. God, no, Dan Rath, I'll never... if I beat Elden Ring, I'll be stunned. Because to beat Elden Ring means I have to pretty much give up playing all the other games that I want and need to play. And I can't imagine making that sacrifice. As much as I love it, though. Okay, is everybody in? Or are we waiting for Magic Circle? Hello, Diva. Which is Legends, I think, right? But Dan Rath, man, I love it. I fucking love it, man. Yeah, I may stream it tonight, Grave Doll. I plan on playing a lot tonight. All right, Magic Circle or Mech Robot. What do I care what Mech Robot's playing? So wait, Magic Circle, are you in or are you not? Should we wait on you or should we start? All right. I am not, you are not in my friend list. Right, so send me a friend invite, and I will, did you want to play with us? If you do, send me a friend invite, we'll get you in. Otherwise, don't worry about it, but I didn't know. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, so this is for the Day 1 Patch Kids prize pack. Goes out this Wednesday. Let us begin. We will do normal items, no teams, no computer, 4 races. And if no one wins, then we'll do it again next week. Oh, shit. You had to pick Rainbow Road, didn't you? Fucking Rainbow Road. How that became one of the most famous, beloved tracks of this series, I couldn't tell you. I think it's horrible. I mean, it's the best of the 4 races as we're doing the cup system, so you got a couple of chances. Fuck you, Spasmo. Was that you who picked it? Oh, I'll be so mad. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Right, Grave. It's the Dark Souls of Mario Kart. You goddamn right. Fuck. God damn it. God damn it. No, the new maps are not out yet. I think they come out in a couple weeks. Alright, who came in first? Let's see. Oh, we don't know? Oh, really, Rocky Lee? Yeah, it's good, man. So Legends is ahead, right? No, Cyclone. God damn. Y'all too good. Six red shells at the end. Were you in first place until then? That's right, Cloud. Moving on up, like George and Wheezy. I don't mind, but I'm not, I don't know if anyone's in there, are they? Panda, I would love for you to join, but we're in the middle of a cup, and then we'll do a Mario Kart night sometime soon though. But this is just for a competition. Because I got to get back to my second job, which is, Elden Ring. No, I mean, I'm talking the new Twisted Metal TV show. No. I mean, I'm involved in the sense that I talk to him and I know what's going on, but I'm not working on it or anything. Hello, Fred. Goddamn right. Best course in the game. I know, poor Mario. Why did Jeff have to pick me? See what I'm saying? Fucking assholes. Motherfucker. All right, let's see who wins. Cyclone is the winner. I didn't come in last. Fun games, you guys. Okay, Cyclone. Congratulations, you are the winner of the, why isn't that turning off? You are the winner of the, Rotten Tanuki, prize pack. The, Day One Patch Kids, coffee mug, t-shirt, magnets, stickers. That'll be going out to you, good sir, on Wednesday of this coming week. If you could please hit me up in the Discord with your mailing information, your actual name, your address, zip code, as long as it's in America. I said that the other day. I didn't say it today. I'm not mailing it out of America because it's too expensive. But hopefully you're in America. Let me know. If not, we'll figure something out. But all right, there you go, fellas. That's been Gabbing Games for March 4th. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. I will be back streaming and making videos this weekend, and then after that, I'll be back all next week with brand new episodes of Gabbing Games. If I don't see you this weekend, be well, be safe, enjoy your games, enjoy your life. Here's Smoke in the Pipe. and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.